Shame. Shame. Shame.
Shame has been a really big, messy topic and part of my life.
Part?
Oh, no.
Maybe I should speak for myself. All of my life?
Yeah. I think that, there's something interesting that happens, particularly with the energy of shame. With a lot of these emotions, there really is a way in which I relate to them as these healthy flows of expression, right? These ways in which, as long as they're moving and they're flowing, I'm like, yeah, great, living life. And then there's a way in which, right, like when shame is moving and flowing, it's almost like it shuts down all the other
everything else.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's even saying it, I can feel it in my body.
Yeah.
And actually what really rises is just a lot of compassion, which is what I can feel now, but so many times in my life when I've really been lost, feeling lost, and really feeling ashamed of how lost I feel. And especially in a world where we all have to have it together. And I don't think this is really necessarily tied to men or women, although some would say men are expected to have it together more than women. But to me, shame is across the board. It is a very challenging emotion for anyone to really be in.
Maybe we should break it down for a moment. Like, what is shame? Like, I think about shame as it feels like a super dark energy, and I go low because it feels like it's actually coming up through my first and second and third chakras, like this dark energy that just feels bad about who I am, and is actually there. It feels like for me there's a belief system in there that says something about who I am is wrong, unacceptable, and unlovable.
Fundamentally.
Yes,
like
right? Inherently.
Yes. Yeah, and the immediate thing that came to my mind when you asked the question was it's like the lowest vibrational energy before death. Ooh. It's like everything slows down and I could just die because I can't find any sense.
But not a true death, right? Because true death feels kind of expansive to me in a way. It's like the shame leads into, I think it's getting into that stopping of energy flows.
Totally right. And I'm glad you brought up that distinction, because like true death, we could say, is also true transformation.
Yeah, right.
Like something ends so something else can begin. And this does feel like just a complete stopping of everything. There's a strangling. I love how you talked about the energy rising through the body, and it just feels like it strangles everything along the way, including my voice. And that's where I find when I'm in it, I have a really hard time reaching out to people to get help. It is one of the most challenging things, because in so many ways, I don't even know how to talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
I can't find what's wrong to get any help. And really, these are the times when I have to reach out, as hard as that is.
There's a hiding quality to shame, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's a way in which you're like, wow, the shame rises, and you're like, I don't want other people to see these horrible parts of me. And so there's a way in which we often don't reach out for connection. We don't reach out for help. We don't reach out to be seen in that moment. And I think shame is the breeding grounds for addiction, for depression, for mental illness, for a lot of those maladies where the healing happens in relationship. And yet we cut ourselves off to that relationship. Absolutely.
And one thing that's really rising right now for me is to really say that not to be ashamed of your shame.
Yes.
It's so hard. I mean, it compounds on itself, really. I mean, even as we were saying, like it begets all of these other experiences. And then I remember thinking to myself in my own experience, however many times I've been in this, where like, look how messy my life is. Look how messed up I am. And no one's going to want to love me. No one's going to be around me. It's just going to wreck all of my relationships. Hence why I want to stop sharing it with people, because I think it's going to break down what already exists in my life.
Yeah.
when really that opening into that vulnerability is what actually allows some healing and allows deeper connections with people in the world.
I know. Breath.
Yeah.
For me, the way that shame showed up for a long time was a really, really painful eating disorder. And it was this rejection of my body, of the way my body looked, of feeling unlovable and unacceptable, and also this shame that I couldn't fix it. That as much as I would try to do, change my diet, go gluten-free, work with healers, do all these things, like stop eating sugar, there was a way in which I felt like I couldn't be in healthy relationship with my body and with food. And I had so much shame around it that it fueled binging or addictive behaviors or hiding or isolating or being OCD about health foods or whatever it may be. And it took me a long time to even actually really notice what the sensation of shame felt like in my body. It was like I had so shut it down subconsciously that it took a lot of practice and a lot of mindfulness to begin to recognize when I was going into that shame pattern. And the more that I befriended it, right, the more that I got used to that sensation, I started to be able to realize, oh, I need to shower this with love. I need to shower this with so much radical self-compassion that it moved me into more spiritual growth than I can say, of accepting my own humanity, of accepting my own imperfections, of accepting duality in the world, of being willing to have life be messy and unpredictable and uncontrollable, and to really know that life isn't about doing it right or figuring it out, that for me life is about coming from love and coming from creation and coming from knowing that I'm divine all of the time.
And this is the inherent gift down there, that the gift of shame is to show and know the full separation from love and the full separation from
that's good.
yeah, from that expression, to know that the only way back is that radical self-love and radical self-acceptance. And people talk about that, and where the rubber meets the road in these deep moments is again speaking the truth of exactly what's going on, exactly how you feel, and all the beliefs that are there. And that is that a slow bit, a little tiny bit of practice to start opening up to that love of yourself, which then we can then give to those around us once we know it for us.
Yeah.
And my own experience was really in having all these things laid out in my life. It's almost a stereotypical story of having a good job and a good degree and a place to live and a car and a 401k and savings, and feeling so miserable. And I felt so ashamed. I couldn't understand why I wasn't happy when I had lived this prescribed life. And I kept trying to make it even more. I thought the solution was I got to go make more things that people say will make me happy. More success, yeah. And it almost killed me. You know, it was a really dark night where I said, I can't do this anymore. I can't feel this pain anymore. And I was given a choice to either stay on this planet or to leave. And I was offered a choice to walk into the unknown. And I started to open up to the truth that I didn't know how to live this life. And as soon as I started speaking that truth, it started to open up. And open the shame into this deep acceptance and love. Yeah. And so here we are, having walked this deep path of shame, to really show you that it is possible to move through it. That it is here, that the love that you so desire and the connection you so desire does come through these incredibly deep and dark experiences, and in fact become the greatest gifts you will ever give, because now you know what it is to be down there and to know and stare at death and all this separation in order to sit with people who are experiencing it as well, and really be that gift and that light for them in those moments.
It's a heartbreaker opener to the compassion. to really so much compassion for others that are struggling, for yourself, for the life experience. And like you said, we've walked this journey, and we know that you can too. We know that even when it's hard and even when it feels difficult, that there's a reason for you to keep breathing, keep moving forward, and keep loving. Thanks so much for watching today. I'm Kelly.
And I'm Chris.
And if this video brought up anything for you that you would like to explore or get additional support around, both Chris and I offer private one-on-one coaching, and we would love to dive deeper with you. Our website information is below.
And please subscribe. Kelly and I do videos regularly covering a huge range of topics around emotions and exploring emotions. And please share it with your friends and family that you know are needing help. We'd love to help. And please reach out to us and contact us with your questions. We'd love to dive in deep with you.